Hi there, Taurus. Thank you for joining me for your year 2013 forecast. There are 365 days in each year, so to make this meaningful, I feel I've got to focus on the overall structure and the detail you can find in my weekly and monthly forecasts. But you know, I feel that the influence of this year began last in November, when there was both a solar and lunar eclipse. Now, these work in polar pairs. And this particular eclipse focused very much on your resources in terms of your everyday desires, but in their linkage with partnership matters. And that's something you need to bear in mind right through till May. Now, the reason for this is that's when the next pair of eclipses occur. So if you find you and yours not quite agreeing or not quite meshing together or working collaboratively when it comes to spending plans, this is a bit of a hint of why. And then we have the solar return at the start of this year, and this is really interesting. Your sign is fixed, and Taurans, as a rule, don't often embrace change that easily. You find that sustained, reliable, and consistent attitudes and situations in life give you a sense of security. But this year, you start the year with probably a real desire to widen your horizons. This could be through travel, it could be through higher education, through gaining greater knowledge. It may be because you want greater personal freedom. But also, there is another collaboration of planets between Uranus, Mars and Jupiter at the start of this year, suggesting that you could also get the bee in your bonnet when it comes to making money. But if this happens, don't be surprised if it's more original and unusual ideas which really take your fancy. Now, in the early part of this year, it is true to say that if you travel, it wouldn't be a surprise, and you can get an enormous amount out of it. If you attend a course or a seminar, this too can really fill you with lots of different ideas and zest. But there's that part of you that you're going against, you're railing against, that part of you that loves things to have that certain amount of constantness. And because Saturn, the planet of structure, is now in your sector of relating, though forming a great link with Pluto for the first 4 months of this year, you could find yourself wanting to cooperate with people who understand your need for expansion. And if there's anyone in your world at the moment who tries to resist your desire to twist rather than stick, that could cause some tension and a clash. Now, this can become particularly obvious for you from March, because from March through to the end of the year, Uranus is going to be squaring up to Pluto. The suggestion here is that you may find it hard to actually put a finger on exactly why you feel so restless at times. It may be something that's almost indefinable, like a small piece of grit in your shoe that you keep shaking out and can't seem to find it, but it stops you walking as easily and as comfortably as you'd like, and it's something you need to be conscious of. This brings us round to the first set of eclipses in 2013, which occurs in May. And the first solar eclipse occurs in your sign, which is great because it's giving you license to be expressive, to start things anew, to be much more progressive in your approach. But the other side of the eclipse is in Sagittarius. And this points towards being much more aware of your resources. So therefore, if you feel in the mood to take some risks and gamble, you must be conscious that this can have ramifications for the following 6 months. Don't bet and gamble without thinking about what these outcomes can be. Then in the early part of June, Jupiter, the planet of fortune, which has been in a fabulous location for the following year and hopefully brought some extra finance your way, moves into your sector of the mind, of talk and thought, of intellect, and your desire to soak up knowledge is going to become even more intense. So again, don't be surprised if you're learning, attending night school, doing distance courses, correspondence courses, or perhaps even being involved more actively within your community. Now, we also have, in the last part of the year, another solar eclipse. This occurs in November, but before that, in October, we have a lunar eclipse. Now, this lunar eclipse for you is going to be particularly sensitive, and it suggests to you that when it comes to your relationships, you can't take anyone for granted. If you do, you may be surprised by just how much energy can be generated, and someone may have a lot to say that they've been keeping very close to their chest and withholding from you. So you can see that this can be a very exciting year for you, a year of change, a year of variety, but it wouldn't be a surprise if some of the things that helped you to earn money were actually those that you learnt long ago, but are adapted in a way which fit the here and now, so they're updated, and that gives you a clue of how you can add this extra variety and stimulation to your world, and yet hold on to your natural love of security and permanence. Thank you for joining me. Good luck and goodbye for now.